Hello, it's Phil Thatch, and I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee on the campus of the University of Tennessee. And it is official now. Casey has decided that UT is where she's going to go, and she's been accepted. So that brings us back up here once again to walk around the campus. Heather is a big fan of walking around the UT campus as a University of Georgia alum. And we have parked near the Rock. So we're going to go over to the Rock, a famous landmark here on the UT campus, to take a look at that. Well, here is the Rock, which students can write whatever they want to or paint whatever they want to on the Rock. And right now, Coach Pruitt is struggling and the UT football team is struggling. So it looks like the students have wrote "Fire Pruitt, enough is enough," and "Choose Joy" on the Rock here at UT. Well, maybe Heather Boyd does like the University of Tennessee, because we're at the Boyd Family Track and Field Center now at UT. So this is the dorm where Casey thinks she might be staying. And what's it called, Casey?
Carrick Hall.
Carrick Hall, okay. And that's Reese Hall over there. And right over here is a new dining hall that they're making, which is kind of nice because it's really close to where Casey's dorm might be. 12 stories tall. Carrick Hall. The building's closed right now, but we can still look in a little bit. This is the view from the other side. Okay, so we have left the University of Tennessee campus, and now we're over at kind of the Market Square, Gay Street area, which is a part of Knoxville that we really like. We're in a parking garage now, and we're going to walk across this bridge that goes over to Gay Street. Okay, so we're walking now up towards Market Square, and I thought I would show you this brand new Supra. It still has a drive-out tag on it. That is yellow. So we are going to have lunch now, and Casey has eaten at this place over here called Kabuki. So she says it's great, and we're going to try it. What's the name of this place? Kabuki? Kabuki? All right, we are in Kabuki. We're going to get some hibachi at Kabuki. Kabuki bachi. Well, that was really good. The food at Kabuki was very enjoyable. And now we're finally going to start doing some street photography, Heather and I, while we wander around Market Square and other areas of Knoxville. Thanks for the suggestion, Casey. That was really good. I started out using the 16 to 50 kit lens on the Z50, and the first photograph that I made that I liked enough to share with you is this all-American cowboy as he was busking there at Market Square in Knoxville. We're in that alley again. It's a really cool place. Oh, I've taken a picture of this man right here before. I think the first time we came here. I love this 16mm wide angle shot of this entire family as they're all looking at the artwork. You know, I like to have my street photography photos where you don't see the back of people's head. I like to see the faces, and you don't see everyone's face in this, but you see a lot of people's faces. And look at this bokeh-fied photograph that Heather made of me using the Z50 and the 50mm f1.8G at f1.8. Nice photograph, beautiful colors, and lots of bokeh. And here's another photograph that Heather made with the 50mm f1.8. This fire hydrant, I really like this shot, and I like all of the textures and contours and the shades of light and dark in this photograph that Heather made. Well, Heather's been using the 50mm f1.8 on her Z50, and I've been using the 16 to 50, but I've decided now to switch to the 50 to 250. See if I can get a little better range. This couple was having professional portraits made there on Gay Street, and I couldn't help but pointing my camera over and getting a shot of them as they listened intently to the instructions of their photographer, who is just out of frame on the right. This next photograph is a gentleman walking his dog down Gay Street, and I'm not all that thrilled with the photograph of the gentleman, but I thought the dog was absolutely beautiful. It had a nice sparkle in its eye as it was walking down the road. And here's another photo. The next photo is another photograph of a man walking his dog. And I think street photography is so much more powerful if you can get your subject looking at you. I think if you have your subject, what you see is the back of their head, it's just nowhere near as powerful as if you get your subject looking at you. Now, there was some sort of scavenger hunt going on there on Gay Street, and this young couple of jaywalkers have the scavenger hunt maps in their hand, and it was kind of fun watching people working on the scavenger hunt. Here's a portrait I made of Casey there on Gay Street, and you know, when I took off the 16-50 kit lens, which is a great lens, and put the 50-250 lens on, I found that that extra reach really started to put a spark in my street photography. Now, there are two pictures that I made there in Knoxville that I thought looked like they might have been made in a different city. And this one I thought looks like it could have been made on the streets of New York City. And this lady looking at us with all that compressed traffic with the long lens. And this is definitely a Knoxville picture. People riding scooters around town is definitely something that you see quite a bit in Knoxville, Tennessee, both on the campus of the University of Tennessee and here on Gay Street. And this shot, you know, this is not a panorama, but I found that when I cropped the top and the bottom off of the photograph, it really added a lot of power to the shot. And this is 1/13 of a second. I did that on purpose so some of the cars would have a little bit of blur to them. Now, this is the other photograph that I thought might have been made in another city. And of course, the Miller's building on South Gay Street is definitely in Knoxville, but this couple looks like they could just as easily be at home in Paris, France, as they are in Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, it's the middle of the winter, and we have stopped at Cruz Farms Ice Cream, where everyone is enjoying some ice cream. I put the 16-50 lens back on and made this portrait of Heather as she was looking at the photos on the back of her Z50 at the ice cream shop. And then later, as we crossed Gay Street, I stopped in the crosswalk and made this photograph looking down Gay Street. And I thought it turned out really nice. And this one, kind of like one of the previous shots, looked much better if I cropped the top and the bottom of it off and made it wide. We stopped right here on White Avenue, and I made a portrait of Casey with the 16-50 kit lens with the sun sphere behind us. The sun sphere is cool. It was here for the 1982 World's Fair. I gave this photo kind of a vintage film look with the edit, really muted colors. And you know, even though this shot is at f6, the sun sphere in the background is still pretty well bokeh-fied. I really like this portrait of Casey. We have had a nice time in Knoxville, but now we're heading back to Chattanooga. We've got a dog who probably needs to get out and go to the pate. There's been three things that we've struggled with while we're in Knoxville. The first has been our photography. Both Heather and I both kind of said that we had a little bit of trouble getting going on photography today, and parking has been a struggle. We finally broke down and went to the, what is that, State Street?
Yes.
We went to the State Street parking garage, which turned out to be free. After all that hunting around for free parking on the road, we like to try to find free parking on the road. But we got the parking ticket for the State Street garage, and then when it came time to leave, it was open, so we didn't have to pay. So that worked out good. But the other thing has been finding a place to go to the restroom. A wonderful area, lots and lots of people hanging around the Market Square and Gay Street areas, but a lot of the restrooms were closed. The one that you go to when you go to the ice cream place, it was closed. We used the one at the restaurant that we ate at, but that was the only place where we had one, so we ended up having to go to a nearby gas station, which was kind of a rough neighborhood by comparison. Super nice area at Gay Street and Market Square, and that restroom place maybe 3 blocks away, that gas station, was kind of a rough place. So what are you going to do? But anyway, it was still a great day. I had a nice time. Heather had a nice time. Casey had a nice time. So thanks for watching. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see some more, subscribe and hit the bell. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.